Good afternoon from InvestSharp. This is Randy Smotone with your Thursday, December the 17th market update. On the economic front, weekly jobless claims were a little worse than expected, showing a loss of 480,000. Consensus was for a loss of 465,000. Philly Fed was better than expected at 20.4. Consensus was 16.5. The EIA natural gas report showed a steeper than expected fall of 207 billion cubic feet due to colder weather. No economic reports tomorrow, but it is going to be quadruple witching. How fun. On the earnings front, RIM beat with a $1.10 per share. The estimate was for $1.04. It also beat on revenue at $2.92 billion. Estimate was for $3.78 billion. Oracle also beat with 39 cents per share. Estimate was for 36 cents. Also beat on revenue at $5.86 billion. The estimate was for $5.69 billion. Nike also beat with 76 cents per share. Estimate was for 71 cents, and revenue was in line. Palm missed, big surprise there, losing 37 cents per share. The estimate was for them to only lose 32 cents per share. The dollar was very strong today, actually, and gold, oil, silver, and copper were all down. Light sweet crude futures, this preliminary data was down by a penny, and it settled at 72.65, and that's the January contract. Let's take a look at the Dow. The Dow closed down 132 points to 10,308. S&P closed down 13 points to 1,096, and the Nasdaq closed down 26 points to 2,180. The S&P actually held up the best. It was only down 1.18%. The Dow was the weakest, down 1.27%. So that pullback didn't do much. Our MACD's declining again. We're still in this channel up here. That hasn't changed much. And you know, S&P looks about the same. We are nearing this. Got this trend line drawn here. I don't know if we're going to bounce, go up. Those tech earnings might help us tomorrow. Probably it's going to depend on the dollar and the news, about the, monetary issues in Greece, etc. So be wait and see on that. If we look at the XLF, come down to 3 months. We've been talking about holding this 1425. We lost it today. We have support here at 14. It is it's kind of head and shoulders, more of a descending triangle is what I'd call it. So we'll see if we can hold this 14 on the XLF. Financials were pretty weak today. BAC was even selling. Goldman Sachs GS is still in this falling wedge, which should be bullish. It's got support right down here at this 150, 8, 9 area. So it actually still looks okay. I still would expect it to come out of this to the upside. Let's look at gold. Gold is hammered today. I wouldn't right now until the dollar, as long as this dollar is as strong as it was today. Let's see where the dollar goes. I wouldn't touch any of these plays right now. These gold, silver. Give them a couple days to see what happens here, especially with the quadruple witching and stuff tomorrow. I wouldn't mess with this stuff. Let's look at the VIX. Well, VIX has kind of got this kind of a descending triangle thing going here in the last, weeks. Last couple of weeks. Let's see what happens if we break out higher the upside. The VIX was almost up, 9.59% today. This 20's been holding down here. Let's pretty volatile lately. All 16 sectors we follow finished in the red today. The internet index held up the best, and it was only down 0.59%, and the weakest was gold, and of course it was hammered. It was down over 4%. Actually, down over 5%. So there's the 16 sectors we follow. If you want to take a look at those, may give you some ideas of what to avoid and what you might want to take a trade on. Let's look at some charts. Some of these are still ones we've been looking at the last couple of days. I still like them. I still like this SNA. I'm going to have to go through these pretty fast. There's quite a few. I still like this ALB. Watch it. I still like Big Lots, still looking okay. This Cerner, it still looks okay. It had quite a bit of selling today, but I like, that 75 should be strong support. So let's see what happens there. Avalon Bay, AVB still looks good, held up pretty well today. PCL, I love it around this 36. Been talking about that. It's got some major, should have some major support up in this area here. So I really like that one. UNH still looks fine, still holding its own. MRVL, Marvell Tech still looks good, holding up there. Joanne Stores still looks good. I like that pattern. It's holding up pretty well today. Rhino's been resting, keeping on it. Apache gas has been pretty good. Since we had that drawdown of gas was looking pretty. Apache still looking good. Cole, Walter, it pulled back today, but it still looks all right. FLR, Floor still looks good, held up pretty well today. For some reason, these construction services seem to maybe want to go higher now. Maybe they've bottomed. Riverbed, Hot, HPT, Continental Airlines still looks great. Jones LaSalle, JLL looks good today. Titanium, pull that quite a bit. I'd watch that one, but it looks pretty good. Fire Source looks great today. Charming Shops looks great. Should have support around that 575 area. News Corp, another great chart. Broke out of that channel. Should have support. Should be near the support. High Tech, this thing had went blowing through that resistance up there today. Major volume. Don't know what's going on with that. Banco Santander Chile should be around the support area, or you might want to wait till it gets back down in here, at least for a partial entry maybe at that point. Zinc, I wouldn't probably touch this because it's a mining company. I'd wait and see what happens with those, but I mean the chart looks pretty good, but I would probably just kind of watch that one. DEC, this thing went flying like it was going to break through this resistance area, and they were going to, like they were buying it like crazy, and then it, like, of course, pulled back. So I'm not sure. Probably feel better if it took out this as far as a short. I had one in yesterday morning, but took it off yesterday late afternoon. So good thing is, would have been freaking out today as they ran it up to, like $97 or something. Watch trucking. The transports actually held up well. You look at the IYT, it was hardly down any. The transportation seems to wants to go higher. You can check out Conway. It was flying today higher. ODFL, Old Dominion Freight was flying. I don't know what's going on with these, but these trucking companies were just on fire today. ABFS. Let's go over and take a look at current market signals. We follow the point and figure chart. For the Dow, the Nasdaq, S&P, all three indices remain on buy signals. They still look fine. Let's take a look at them real quick here. Here's a point and figure chart for the Dow. We would have to print this 10,200 to go back onto a sell signal. We would have to take out this prior box, this prior column of O's to go back on a sell signal. So we're a little ways from that. We'll just have to, see what happens tomorrow, but everything looks, looks about the same. I mean, there's no damage in the day. One day of 100 and some points is nothing. So that's really all I have for today. Thanks for joining me, and remember to always invest sharp.